Hi, I just wanted to come on here and say something. It may not be too brief, it may be, I'm not sure, but I wanted to talk about a particular subject. You know, as women and men, we're born with certain physical attributes. In this video, I'm going to call them orifices. We're born with orifices, and when we are kids, we have parents who help protect us. So, if there's something flying around our eyes, um, our parents would try to protect us, or they tell us don't run, with pencils or sharp objects, or they have to go with you to the doctor to be examined. They have to be informed, even if at school a nurse is taking care of them, or a kid assaults them, or there's some physical contact with another student at school. You have to know about it. So I want to talk about that. Like, our parents protect us as kids, as teens, as minors. But it's like the moment we turn 18 and we become adults, we become responsible for our own bodies legally. Then that's when we start to get into the contracts, right? And these documents that are legal and binding, okay, that could be presented in a court case to a judge. And the reason I'm saying this is because, let's say, for instance, if we have like let's say, for instance, an optometrist, right? Um, they look, they need contracts to look into our eyes, to perform surgery on our eyes, or a gastroenterologist. They go up, into our colons or into our esophagus through our mouths. There's dentists, they check our teeth in our mouth. There's the urologist who takes care of the bladder area and your urethra that goes up into the bladder from your outside. There is the ENT doctor. I'm not sure what the ENT doctors are called, but they're like the ear, nose, throat doctors, right? They need You need to sign like releases and other documents for them to inspect you, assess you, examine you, care for you, diagnose you, prognose you, whatever. Then there's like the phlebotomist. Even phlebotomists, they have to go through your arm, check. I mean, with a needle, go into your veins, into your skin, or your arm, or your arteries, or wherever they get blood from, or they give you needles from, for whatever reason, draw plasma, draw whatever they test for. Then there's even the psychiatrists. They give you medications to balance or control, or do other things to the chemicals in your brain. There is the psychologist. Okay, the psychologist even has permission to enter your emotions, to deal with your emotions or your psyche, your subconscious, right? The deep inner workings of your mind, your cognition. There's neurologists, like brain doctors, who can crack your head open, somehow get into your head and take care of your brain, perform surgery on your brain, other things they do. Okay. There are even, I said psychologists, let's say gynecologists. Let's get to the gynecologists, right? They have legal access, if you give it to them, to your private area, okay, your vajayjay. So it crossed my mind the other day, and I was like, all these people, they have access to our orifices, or the entrances in our bodies that are so vulnerable, right? And when we become adults, it's our responsibility to protect ourselves, even though our parents, they were the ones who were fully responsible for protecting ourselves as much as they could, from, from harm, right? From assault, from abuse, from other things happening to us. Our teachers had some responsibility, but when they're in school and registered in a school, etc., stuff like that, or their caregivers, babysitters, aunts, uncles who are there in their care. But how come, like when we get in romantic relationships, well, I shouldn't say we, some people, when they get into romantic relationships, all of that goes out the window, right? You meet a person, you get emotionally intimate with the person, you get to know them, perhaps their family, perhaps their friends and social circle, and then you feel comfortable with them, and you're like, oh, hey, either you or them may want to take it further physically, right, in a sexual way. And at that point, some people don't draw the line. There's no boundary. It's like, okay, well, you are a stranger to me technically because I can only trust or go off of what you're telling me, and I will trust you. And then you give them access to your body internally, or vice versa. You would enter someone's body internally without anything legal or binding. And there's so many things that could go wrong. So it's like, people, they call it the piece of paper, the marriage certificate or license. It's just a piece of paper. But even when you're dating, you know how much things can go terribly awry in that relationship, in that type of situation, right? You can get pregnant. And some people will be like, oh, well, I'm on birth control. I have that covered. I wrap it up. We know that birth control and condoms are made by humans and they tend to fail, or they have the likelihood or ability to fail. And the percentage of failure is actually higher than what the box says. Like, let's say the box that housed the birth control or the devices or the condoms, which I think that if you were to search WebMD or other medical websites, it would show you that the actual percentage of failure is between 13% and 18%, or 20%. I think another website says 20%. I'm not 100% sure. So it could be between 18 to 20% or 13 to 20% or 13 to 18%, somewhere there. Even though the box just states 2% failure risk. But of course, that's their sale thing going on. That's their marketing agenda or method. But if you ask the doctor, he'll tell you, hey, way more people come in here. More than 2% of people reported to use those devices for protection from pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, unplanned pregnancies. Then there's diseases, infections that come. Even if you're protected with a condom, there's still diseases you can catch. I think there's like 5 major STIs, right? Contractable STIs, and there's 10 major contractable STIs, and 5 of them you can catch even if you're covered up, if you wrap it up, if you're wearing a condom, however you refer to it as, you can still catch 5 of the major STIs even if you're wearing protection. That doesn't make sense. So it basically only protects you from half of the STDs technically, because the other half of the major STDs are skin conditions, skin related skin infections. So they can be on a guy's, let's say, scrotum, they can be on a woman's thighs or outer area, or anal area, or frontal area. It doesn't have to just be internally. It can be surrounding skin. So you can still catch, like 5 of these major STDs, such as syphilis, herpes, genital warts, HPV, and there's 2 more. I can't remember one of them. One of them starts with a C. I think it's CH, and then the other one is like pubic lice. Some people call it crabs. So cooties was actually a real thing when we were kids. But yeah. So you can catch like 5 of these major STDs, even if you're so-called protected, but yet no one has to, no one wants to sign the marriage license. Some people, a lot of people. many people, too many people, and for this type of situation, but yet you're putting yourself at risk, right? For unwanted pregnancies, these major STDs that you will have to live with for the rest of your life, that will never be healed or go away, and and then the person can also come into your life, right, and harm you in other ways, and have no responsibility because you did not publicly confess your union, which means that they can come into your life, move in with you, live with you without a marriage license, take advantage of you, exploit you, rob you, exploit your children if you have children, abuse your pet, or do other things, abuse you, exploit you financially in some way, okay, or emotionally traumatize you, change the trajectory of your life because of the abuse. But yet they don't have to prove anything. If you do decide to have children with someone you're living with, or a partner, you can have their child and they can leave without any consequence. They can move out of town, you can't find them. The law don't have to be behind them. But if you had a license or certificate, that means they made a promise, okay, in front of someone who's ordained, or a judge, or someone who can perform such a union legally. And they're promising to, whatever their vows say, to be there and to follow whatever your contract together is in that union. And the thing is, it's like these professionals, like the doctors and the lawyers and the accountants, all and other professions, nurses, whatever your profession is, secretaries, whatever profession you is, you're required to have either a contract, something legally binding, a document, whether it's renting an apartment, signing a mortgage or something like that, signing a lease. That's what I meant to say, on a car. Like, all of these different things have contracts required to protect not just the person or the company or the entity, but yourself as well. In cases of malpractice, injury, all the things that could go wrong in this imperfect world dealing with imperfect people. Like, these professionals protect themselves and their futures and their money and their families and their career, their passions. But then when it comes to spirituality, sorry, my throat's a little dry. I drank all my water earlier. But when it comes to spirituality, it doesn't matter. When it comes to God and what he desires, it doesn't matter. Corinthians 6, I think it's 19. Corinthians 6:19 talks about our bodies being where the temple of the Holy Spirit, okay? Where the Holy Spirit lives, which means it's sacred. Corinthians 6:19 talks about your body belonging to God, that your body was bought with a price. Okay, Christ sacrificed his life. And once you're saved, okay, your bodies were bought with a price. So we have to respect yourself, respect ourselves, respect God, reverence God, show fear of God, or respect, not like terror, but respect of God. Okay? I just feel like just because we're material, we're matter, we're made of dust, we're formed from dust, but our personalities are actually created by God. People think that, oh, that's all it is to us. We're emotional, we're cognitive, we have a psyche, we're physical or tangible. You can touch us in this material world, but people don't like to talk about the spiritual aspects of life. A lot of times we do focus on the social aspects, the financial aspects. There's other aspects. Why would you not want to embrace the spiritual aspect if you don't? And if you do, Great for you. Hooray for you. Subscribe below. Subscribe below. Don't forget to like this video as well. If you want to share it, that'll be great. But yeah, there's so many aspects to life. Everyone wants, a lot of people, I shouldn't say everyone, so many people that it's tempting to say everyone, but it's not. So many people want to exclude the spiritual side of us, the intangible side. But that's sad because it's real and it matters. Even if you just want to look at the civil side or the governmental side, they say it is safer to have a contract or certificate or a license. You're even safer if you have a prenuptial because, people are torn on that. But think about it. You are actually marrying and uniting yourself with a stranger. No matter how much you think you know the person, they're still a stranger. Until they actually, I guess, prove themselves, which takes a while. And you're always getting to know the person because we're always changing in different milestones and parts of our lives, seasons of our lives. But even family could be considered strange because you thought you knew this person in your family and they switched on you, or they betrayed you, or they showed their true self. So why would you not want to be safe? Even some people go into contracts with their families when it comes to business or childcare with their family. They make them sign stuff. But then you meet a stranger, you're like, I knew you for a day, a week, a year. It's cool. We don't have to do anything legally binding for you to assault me or be with me physically. Well, assault is actually legally a criminal term. So I don't mean assault. I mean to physically interact with me. That's what I mean. Sorry. Right? Despite the fact, like I mentioned already, the things that can happen, the mishaps that can occur that you don't prefer. Think about it. If you want to add anything else below supporting what I'm saying in this video, please do. Don't hesitate. I'll appreciate it. Okay. And the sun is going down where I am, so I'm going to get done what I had planned to get done before the end of my day. But I'm so glad you're here joining me. Hopefully we can talk some more soon. Stay tuned. Also, check me out on TikTok and Instagram. I don't post there that often either place, but occasionally I do. So you can follow me over there. And I can follow you as well if you let me know. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. And also, I will, in the near future, share my email if you wanted to send comments there, private comments or questions, stuff like that, if you have inquiries. So it's Savvy Divine signing out. Bye.